Let's talk about dissonance in third species. In third species, we've got one new form of dissonance. So as before, we have the dissonant passing tone. We see that, for example, right here. You see it also here. Here we've got plenty of dissonant passing tones in the beginning of this example. But now we have something we haven't encountered before. That, of course, is a dissonant neighbor tone. We weren't allowed to use that in second species. Now, in third species, this becomes an idiomatic part of our toolkit. We're using both dissonant neighbor tones and dissonant passing tones. Those are our main dissonances. Notice that these all move by step, and that's going to be very handy when it comes to error checking, as we'll discuss later. So in general, with a few exceptions, in third species, our dissonances move by step. They're passing tones or neighbor tones. And the only note in the measure that's required to be consonant is the downbeat. You'll notice none of those downbeat numbers are circled. They're all consonances. My downbeats are always consonant. Any other beat may be dissonant. Do be aware, though, the third beat is not as strong as the first beat, but it's relatively strong. So you want to be conscious of the stronger highlighting that the dissonance receives when it's on the third quarter note beat. This is especially true with the neighbor tone. Listen to the difference between this neighbor tone and this neighbor tone. Hidden away on the weak beat, it really leans on it. So be conscious of that. Make sure the effect works well if you're going to do that. There are two other dissonance patterns that we can use. One of them is very easy and familiar from harmony. That's the double neighbor. Both of these exercises, both of these counterpoint lines, end with double neighbors. So the double neighbor occurs when we move first to an upper, sometimes first to a lower, but first to one neighbor, and then leap to the other neighbor, and then resolve. So it certainly has the appearance, and in a literal sense, we leap away from this dissonance. We leap away from that seventh. But the real destination of that D is not that B, but rather the C sharp. That's why when we talk about a double neighbor, what we mean is that there are two neighboring motions, C sharp to D to C sharp to B to C sharp. Both of those are stepwise. It's just that because they've been combined, we have to do them one at a time. And that results in the leap away from the dissonance. You see the same thing down here. Here, by the way, a nice reminder of the use only to embellish to approach that final raised leading tone in the minor, only in that next to last measure, we can use a raised scale degree 6, that option down there. So the double neighbor tone, and I'll play that. I'll take it the measure before. Dissonance, leap away from it, but I do resolve that. I just take a moment, kind of parenthesis. So again, familiar from Harmony 1. Now there is one final dissonance pattern in third species that we haven't encountered in Harmony before. So this is new, this is the cambiata. And that's a complicated enough topic, I'm going to devote one video just to that.